Hey everyone, and welcome to another Saito update. It's Richard here.
David, we've got a ton of stuff to talk about. Richard, get started.
Yep, it's a long list, so let's try and blast through. We'll try and keep this one short. So, first thing I wanted to do is talk a little bit about outreach. We usually put that at the end, but I thought we'd start off with that today. One of the big things that's happening in outreach is the ape to earn. This is not an ape bond. This is a sideline we've been undertaking with the ape bond crowd, which is about crowdsourcing promotion and outreach on the project. So you will have noticed a bit more Twitter activity and stuff. We've really liked the model and the way it works. Basically, we have some rewards for people to get the word out. It kind of democratizes, as I suppose is the word for doing outreach, rather than handing cash out to KOLs and such. So we've been seeing really good results for that, and we're looking at how we expand that actually with the Ape to Earn team. It's been really positive, and I think you would have probably on X and other places spotted more kind of articles and longer think pieces about Saito. So that's pretty cool. Same time, podcast I think is really taking off. We've now hit a massive podcast milestone, which is there are 9 episodes, so you get the full screen full of episodes, right? So people who are waiting for us to pod fade have to wait a little longer, but it's also picking up a lot of steam, a lot of audience, and I think the structure is improving as well. So we've added a bit of a news and topic watch section at the front, and that started getting a bit more interest and people throwing in questions. So really positive where that's going, and I think we'll keep our efforts up there, and it's bringing new people to Saito. The other huge thing that's happening is David is off to York and beyond in the next couple of weeks. Do you want to say a little bit about that, David?
We've got dates. The Beyond Hurwitz paper, it's been accepted at 2 important economics conferences. The first is in York. I'll be speaking on the 24th. We're really pleased about this because it's a chance to talk to people who understand things that are, like, it sounds complicated, a non-revelation equivalent mechanism, incentive compatibility, but it's like, this is actually the stuff that the computer scientists don't understand, which explains what's special about Saito and blockchain, right?
And it's the stuff that's sexy to economists. So,
well, we're going to find out if it's sexy to economists, but
it's sexy.
But it's sexy to us, because
it definitely is.
It's really simple stuff like a blockchain. What are we selling? Are we selling block space, or are we selling credible enforcement in a decentralized environment?
Yep.
York is going to be the morning of the 24th. That's in the UK. Brazil is going to be August 2nd in the afternoon. So, and it's great because the York one, hopefully I'll get a bit of practice before we go to Brazil, because Brazil's the one where, like, the morning sessions are just Nobel laureates, So pressure is no, but it's great, right? Like, Meyerson is speaking, Aumann is speaking, Paul Milgram is speaking, Eric Maskin is speaking. So, like, these are the people that invented mechanism design. This is the place for us to be. So it's really exciting. We've got the opportunity. If you are in the UK or if you're in Brazil and you want to come grab a drink, hit me up.
If you're not in Brazil, but it sounds like a fun place to be, head down.
We'll see.
I'm a little bit envious, although I'm not envious about having to present at that conference. I'd be nervous.
Flights are going to be a bit rough, but
it's also a leg from Asia. Yeah, cool.
We want to do shout outs too. I want to say thank you to Spicy and thank you to Zatopath. I mean, Zatopath in particular, the work you're doing on Twitter is fantastic.
The videos from Spicy are super interesting, and I think really hitting an audience. And Zatopath, I think, is probably the #1 ticket holder at the moment in terms of explaining a combination of what's going on in Saito, but also why it's important to people and how it works. And I think that's been really positive to see his stuff coming out too.
I mean, it's also, for me, it's like there's a level of digging down, and I think a lot of our community, people come in and they come down to a level of comfort, and these are guys who are going all the way down.
to where it gets really uncomfortable. No,
I'm not sure if you're going. I'm not sure what's actually at the bottom, to be honest.
Limbo.
We might be
limbo.
rationality, different modes of rationality, but like these guys are getting really far down.
Yeah.
Everyone else, you're invited to. You know, we love it. It's super hard for us sometimes to try to talk to people about this. You know,
well, and I think
people in the blockchain space, they're not comfortable going even halfway down to where Cytopath is.
Yeah.
Spicy's
I think
videos.
It's also just, when David and I, talk to people, introduce Saito, etc. There's always a risk of it coming across as shilling or pushing our own barrow, and so to have a community out there of their own accord, digging in that deeply, getting that familiar with the content, but then also putting in that much effort to talk about it and to get it out to people in different ways, it's invaluable, because there's some things we can't do. Like there's some things that need to be a third party to give them the credibility of like really yelling what we want to yell from the rooftops. So credit there as well.
I mean, I'd also add, like, this is personal. We have limitations on communication as well.
Right.
You know, I'm not always the best person to be talking about Saito in part because the way that I understand it, when I try to explain, I'm like, you should understand it as a mechanism. And for me, that's because, going in and Paul Samuelson and then Hurwitz, it's like, okay, I've got a framework actually that has helped me. And that's not necessarily the best way to reach out to people. I think, Richard, you've made a lot of progress talking about like just all of this internet censorship. Like Canada is now driving off the cliff and stuff too.
Every prime minister wants to help you out with your kids suddenly, somehow. So
it's kids.
Yeah,
give us your ID, register all of your accounts. It's for the kids.
Yeah, and keep the kids safe. So no, I think it's good. And I mean, but again, in that sphere, we struggle with like the perceptions where we're coming from and stuff. Even though this has been Saito's talking points from day one, and the reason we got busy on the project in the first place. So shout out to those guys. I think it's amazing work they're doing, and they're setting a real example for like how to help. And
I've been looking at stuff, and I think I mentioned like he's doing articles on Twitter, and they're great. And it's kind of, I've thought at times I should respond to this, and then you start writing, and it just like keeps going.
Just let him do it. It's great. Yeah.
So I'm looking at Cytopath, and I'm like, it does take more work, I think, than people realize, because these are ideas that don't nest themselves easily. Let's go on to what's happening. Brief technical update. So, as you may remember, we have basically, we're a bit backed up on work that we're doing. The reason for that is that we've got this network refactor that's coming out, and it's holding things up because a lot of the improvements are on this new branch. They're on this new repository. We need to test it. And when it comes online, a lot of stuff is going to basically flow through. We've got JavaScript to Rust pipeline. The code is integrating event serves, seamlessly moving between the two. So a lot of kind of informational pipes that were, a request would be made to get longest blockchain, or this is now smooth. We've got NFTs, divisible recombining. A lot of UIs have been redone. Some of the UI development you've actually put out on prod already, Richard.
Yeah, well, so we've got these different streams. So like this core stuff that we've been working on has to come through a big testing process, etc. Whereas we can do a lot of the prep work and the groundwork on normalizing the whole way the UI works and getting it to kind of align a lot better with modern design patterns. We can do that in the existing code base and be pushing that out, which has been super useful, because thank you to everyone who's gone on Red Square and made my morning by pointing out a bunch of white on white text problems and other things. But this is all in a good cause. We've reduced the amount of CSS, the amount of styling instructions massively. And that then lets us go through and look at the actual UI components, the bits and pieces, to make that simpler and to get that more in line with these, like I said, these modern design patterns. The reasons for that is that both humans and machines expect modern design patterns. And what we had was a bunch of stuff that was experimentally built and organically grew. And
Yeah.
so this is combing that so that if you tell an agent or you tell a designer make a UI for this, it's going to come together pretty well, and you'll have an existing theme that looks good and a good example of how to retheme it and make that look
Yeah.
good. And it won't be fighting the existing
Yeah.
code. It'll be a pretty simple and quick process. So a lot of work going into that, but I think
Yeah.
it's really going to tie up beautifully with this other work that we're doing on the inside to kind of make app development way simpler.
Well, there's more of it that's going to come out. The one thing I would add is one reason I think, because we have been doing testing for a while. A lot of the reasons for that is we found like, oh, well, here's a syncing edge case,
Yep.
and we've cleared that up in a way that makes it more performant, more
Yep.
stateless, more idempotent. There's a
Idempotent,
word.
I think, is the word.
There is a word.
Yeah.
Don't know how to pronounce it, but it's good.
Yeah.
So Saito is going to be more good.
Well,
The other thing is one of the reasons things have slowed is because this is going to be such a big update with testing.
yep.
We've actually pulled some time off. We're moving towards pay to script hash, which is
Yep.
going to be huge because that's scripting.
Yep.
And what that means, it means programmable money, which is the foundations of DeFi. It's going to be slightly different than Ethereum, and it's going to be slightly different than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
My AI is actually really excited about it. I know everyone's AI is excited about everything they do, but we're getting the foundations for this stuff in, and it is actually really interesting because there are some kinds of programmatic programs we can write that simply are not possible on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Things like NFTs, where every time you transfer them, a royalty must be paid. And Ethereum can't do it for various reasons. People can take those NFTs that they need to pay a royalty when they're transferred, and they can lock them in a smart contract, and you trade the token
Yeah.
that represents the withdrawal of the NFT. You can't cheat in these ways with Saito. It's really
The idea that blew my mind was like the twofold possibilities of making tickets that you can't scalp because you can't resell them after a second or third time, or making tickets where scalping is in the interest of, say, the performer. So if you increase the price, some of that increased price goes to the original issuer of the thing. So you could then allow people to build a market around something that you're doing, like a show, in an organic way. Super cool idea, and I think way outside what you can do with smart contracts. So
anyway, the short message is that stuff's happening too.
Yep.
I'm really pleased because we weren't expecting to get it in this quickly, and we've been able to. Fantastic. And when we get it out, it's also great because for reach out, we're going to be able to go to people, and it's going to be like Ethereum in the early days where you show up at the website, although in this case it's Saito, and there's a button and you would say, I want to create this. And it's like a wizard. It will just walk you through creating all of this stuff that you can't do elsewhere.
Yep.
We also view it as really important because I know we've been talking about the asset store for a while. We were getting frustrated in implementation, and there's something scripting is going to let us do that will just simplify this. Like when you list a transaction, when you list something on the store, you're just going to send it to a script address that lets you withdraw it or lets the store sell it. And so a lot of implementations that were getting kind of crufty, and it was getting hard to, like you upload the NFT and then does the store divide it, or do you divide it first? That sort of stuff is going to be so much easier with scripting.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is happening.
And tokens too, just straight up tokens, which is another.
Oh yeah. Well, NFTs is tokens too. One of the things is you create an NFT, in the Saito wallet now, where you pick like, I want Saito, I want Bitcoin or ETH, your NFT will show up there if it's divisible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it makes it possible to create a token for Friday night poker with the buddies. Like you just create one, and you can, you can have value or not have value, but it's limited and it's tradable. It's really,
and then when you start the poker game, you can be staking your own token. So we think this is important because, again, for getting people to make that transition, because we're seeing it starting to happen, but in order for people really to see Saito as a store of value and kind of a
Yeah.
network and a next generation blockchain, we need to get them into the mentality that actually you need Saito to create this stuff. And while it may be very
The
inexpensive,
Yeah.
if
The
you're not,
thing, the little thing that tweaked in my mind was I was chatting to Alex about this sort of stuff, and it's like the first step, the really first step, is that thing where someone has some Saito in their wallet, and they think just for a second, what am I doing with this? Like, do I want to do I need it for something else? And as soon as you have that start of that thought pattern starting, people are valuing it, right? And that's the thing you build. That's the spark that turns into the fire, right? Because once you've got that, then people are starting to have a desire for more, and there's there's reasons for them
yeah,
to want to actually acquire more of the token, and that's that gives it then value to
and
others and
they
creates the
value
economy.
all of the things you can do with it.
Yep.
So anyway, there's a ton of this stuff that's happening. If you're following us on GitHub, you're going to see all of this.
Yep.
If you're not following us on GitHub, you're probably not noticing. Doesn't mean we're not busy.
Yeah.
It means we're more busy than usual.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's been an opportunity with the team in disparate places over the sort of start of summer to get these different threads happening independently, but we haven't been maybe promoting them or letting people know what's going on as much as we could. So we're hoping we're making up for that now, and that we'll be in a position to get a lot of this in front of people pretty soon. And that I feel like it really sets us up for the rest of the year, right? Like this sort of gives us this basis to start strategizing on how to get that, what we were just talking about people being interested in the token.
Yeah. So stepping forward, our focus is, well, it's a combination of scripting and network refactoring.
Yeah.
We're going to get the network updated as soon as the network refactor is tested and stable. Syncing seems to be working. We need to make sure that like we've done a full review of consensus logic, that sort of thing. We're trying to get when we get this up, we're going to come back and we're going to have public discussions about what the roadmap looks like for the next 6 months after that.
Yep.
We invite everyone to be part of that. Hopefully, when we're having this, you guys will be able to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping people are really paying attention and starting to see the pieces coming together. Right, we've got the whole toolkit and the bag of things we can do with NFTs, tokenization, store. We've got the ability to easily build apps that look good coming together. We've got real ramped up outreach and promotion. People are hearing a lot more about us. I'm hoping people can see those pieces coming together, but what we'll try and do is actually give people more of a coherent, not coherent, but we'll let them sort of see how that all plays together for us and make some choices about the right way to execute the next 6 months and get that in front of people.
We're basically saying we're so busy, we can't tell you what we're doing after we stop being busy for the next week and a half.
But there are reasons, and you'll see them.
Anyway, we're stretching on. Thank you guys for listening. Again, like shout out to everyone who's helping. It's really appreciated. I really love where things are going. I know that it feels at times like we're in this really weird niche space in blockchain. And I've just got to say, like, actually seeing what's happening on the back end, and I wouldn't want to be in another part of the blockchain space because I think this is way more exciting than anything that's happening elsewhere.
We're actually where it's at. I think people have suggested jumping on the bandwagon of 1,000 narratives since we started, but we're actually in a place where the narrative is pushing in our direction right now, and the narratives come to us as well at the same time that the tech's coming together. And I think I'm pretty excited about where stuff's at.
I mean, it's insane.
I think it's one of those things where it's a mathematical progression that's hard to see, and so it feels like it hit you like a wave. But it really does feel, and I think awareness has changed massively too, which is good for us in terms of people understanding why we're trying to do what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We'll do this next week. And next week, hopefully, if we don't have a date, we'll have a sense of how long it will be until the network's up. We're going to see because we're doing the testing, and we want to make sure it's going to be smooth a transition as possible.
Absolutely. It's going to be a big month of testing for us, so a big week of testing rather next week. And I think hopefully toward the end of next week, we'll have a much clearer idea of where everything's at and,
and I'll be on some painful flights.
Bangkok
in
is
London,
not the place to be based when you've got. Bangkok is not the place to be based if you've got trips to York and Buenos Aires. And there's just
anyway, it'll be fun. I'm hoping we get a recording of it as well.
Oh yeah,
so,
excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway,
thanks everyone. We'll wrap it
great.
up here.